Elisabeth Stitt here from Joyful Parenting Coaching. I'm talking today to newly minted author, Dr. Jeffrey Kranzler. I'm just going to leave it. I'm having a hard time with the name Kranzler this morning. Dr. Jeffrey Kranzler is from Bethesda, Maryland. He is a child and adolescent therapist and also a mentor consultant. But most importantly, he is the dad of 3 kids, including a middle school student. And he is a former middle schooler himself. He has deep experience in that area. And he's written a fabulous new book called The Crimson Protector. I know that you are a great lover of the superhero genre yourself, and that you were inspired to find a genre and a vehicle to inspire kids and to help improve their confidence and to empower them. Take it away and tell me a little bit about your book.
Sure. So I wrote The Crimson Protector. I'm a child adolescent therapist, like you'd said, and I teach skills. I want kids to feel powerful. I want kids to feel like they know what to do in certain situations. And it's great that I teach skills in session, but I think one of the most powerful ways to communicate information and to have kids really inculcate and ingest that information, or to inculcate it in kids, is through the vehicle of fiction. It's so powerful because it teaches lessons in a very organic and a very subtle way. So instead of saying, learn this, it's let's see it. Seeing something is such a different way of learning than saying, sit down and memorize this, or sit down and practice this. When you can see the character, and frankly, if it's a good book, when you can feel like you are the character, when you can live that book and you're living the skills that they're putting into play, all of a sudden it's a different ball game. And my hope, and what I've seen already from the responses from middle school readers, is not only is it exciting, but kids are really getting the skills and understanding it. And to me, that's both the excitement and the enjoyment of it, as well as kind of the getting of skills without feeling like somebody's teaching me something, I gotta memorize this as a parent, tell me what to do. That's just the exciting part about this book.
Love it. Love it. Would you mind reading a little bit from it? To me, that's the way to get in, jump right in.
Absolutely. So this character is, it starts out, the catalyst for this book is this character sees bullying going on, doesn't feel confident enough to address it. This character has a crush, it's middle school, and doesn't feel confident enough to approach the crush. So the middle schooler finds out about mentoring and reaches out to get a mentor. One of the subtle messages of this book is that I want kids to be empowered and proactive in reaching out for help, reaching out to adults rather than waiting for adults to notice what's going on. Middle schoolers are so good at keeping things inside and keeping things from us, both from a therapeutic perspective and also from a parent, as a parent perspective. And I feel it's so important to give the kids messages like, we're here for you and we got to know what's going on. So get out there and let us help you. So what I have that is the character reaching out. So the character reaches out for a mentor, meets the mentor, they're getting along swimmingly. All right, the character's name is James Gast. The mentor's name is Cody Daniels. So this is them going out on their first outing together as a mentor and a mentee. And so the mentee, the main character, James Gast, has told the mentor, I want to get more confident. That's what I want. And the mentor's now job is to help him develop this. So this is the mentor speaking, Cody speaking. So why don't we get to work on your goal of getting more confident? And this is James. Okay, how do we do that? Depends, said Cody. What are you terrible at? What? Trust me. What are you terrible at? I pretty much stink at all sports, basketball, baseball, bowling, you name it. Pick the one you're worst at. I don't know. I'm really bad at bowling. Then that's where we're going, said Cody. I don't get it. You want to build confidence, right? Yeah. Well, then you have to practice losing. I still don't get it, said James. You will. When they got to the bowling alley, they got shoes and went to their lane. As they began to unlace their sneakers, Cody turned to James. Now, here's the thing. No matter how many pins you knock down, I want you to walk back to me acting like you just got a strike. What? Let me show you, Cody said. Cody bowled and knocked down a few pins. He walked back to get the second ball. How many pins did I get down? He asked James. 2. Yes. And how do I look? Like someone who's actually good at bowling. Right, laughed Cody. What do you notice about how I'm walking? Well, you're taking your time. You look like you did better than you really did. Yes, and what do you notice about my face? You're smiling, and you're looking me straight in the eye, and your chin is up. And my shoulders are back, and I look confident. Exactly. But Cody bowled again and got only 2 more pins. Are you trying to let me win? No, I'm just really terrible at bowling too. And yet you wear bowling shirts all the time. Cody laughed. Good point. James took his first turn to bowl. The ball slowly curved off to the right before making it even within a foot of the pins. James sighed, slouched over, and turned back. Nope, said Cody. Fine, said James. James lifted his chin, pulled his shoulders back, and puffed out his chest. Now look me directly in the eyes and smile. Yes, that's it. Now make a confident face. Perfect. They kept bowling, and James continued to do horribly, but he also walked the way Cody had shown him during each turn. When the game was over, James looked up at his score on the screen above their lane. He had bowled a 40. He heard laughing and saw some little kids at the lane next to his, pointing up at his score. Good game. You won, said Cody. How did I win? I bowled a 40. My grandmother could have bowled a 40, and she's dead. Look at those kids. They probably stopped wearing diapers yesterday, and they're laughing at my score. Listen to me, said Cody. If you can fail with a smile on your face, you will look strong and feel strong. If you don't beat yourself up for failing, then you can take risks. You never take risks, you never fail. But you also never get what you want. You take risks, maybe you fall on your face. Maybe you even get embarrassed. But maybe, just maybe, you get the very thing you want. Now, what was that girl's name again? So are we leaving, or are you bowling again? I'm bowling again. Cody smiled. Well, all right then.
Cool. Love it. You've got some nice one-liners in there too. I'm pretty sure my dead grandmother could bowl better than I do. Okay, so tell me about the title.
Sure. So, this character, I had this character to be very into superheroes, but in a very kind of organic and positive way. It's not about the violence. It's about the ability to protect. And this kind of goes back to the empowerment piece. We talk about helping kids out and doing services for them, but the greatest way to make a middle schooler feel good about themselves is to put them in a giving role, in a protecting role. And this character is a very literary character. This character is, a nerd and everything, but loves books and really connects to the color of red and what it means and passion and strength and the ability. When it comes to superheroes, it's really about the ability to transform yourself, to be who you want to be rather than who you are. And as our middle schoolers, one of their jobs is to develop into who they want to be and become the person they want to be. A superhero, a mask, allows you to
Yeah.
reach that in a very positive and empowering way to become who you want rather than to feel stuck in who you've been perceived at in the past.
It's so true that middle school, I mean, it's really their job, right? Their job is to try on all the different masks so they can kind of see how each mask fits and you know who it is that they really want to be. And so yeah, I love that. And I love that you have created a mentor. But I'm sitting here as a parent going like, well, okay, that's nice for the mentor, but you know, I want to have this relationship. I want to have this connection with my kid. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, I think that a lot of the skills that a good mentor will put into play are skills for parents too. And it's not kind of out of the blue skills. I don't think it's, learning astrophysics, unless you're an astrophysicist, because it's really about connecting to what you know as a parent and being able to bring it out in an effective way. And I think that this book for parents themselves will help reconnect parents to their inner wisdom, their knowledge, and kind of be more less than I'm teaching you completely new pieces, but the ability to reconnect to your empathy, reconnect to your reflective listening, reconnect to your empowerment, and just kind of bring those to the fore. So, you're absolutely right. Getting a mentor is very hard. Natural mentor, a program mentor, especially during the time of COVID, but even not during the time of COVID, they're in very short supply. And it's just about kind of as parents using the skills to help improve our relationships with our kids. And I think this book is if parents read it, I think it is really good in that particular way too.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I talk to parents about, like if the sort of 0 to 10 of parenting is about sort of being the captain of the ship and really guiding your children and letting your children know there's somebody in charge, that the next 10 years are about handing over the reins and letting them drive down the street by themselves, because there's no way a child can get his license without actually being in the car behind the wheel, without you with your foot on the brake or with your hands in your wheels. And I love that analogy because it's such a clear one of like, we've got to start giving our kids that ability or that control, or they're never going to be behind the wheel with their foot on the brake and their hands on the wheel. And that's so true for so many different areas. And
I love that. I love that metaphor too. I think it's so on target.
yeah, right. So that really the work of a middle school parent is to begin to figure out how to be the mentor rather than the commander of the ship, and to say, you know, what's the relationship that I want to have at 20, right? At 20, I want to be the wise guide walking alongside. I want to be the resource. I want to be the person that my child comes to for advice and perspective, but with the expectation that I've done a good job as a parent and that my kid really does have what he needs to solve his own problems and to find his way with things. Not to say he's not going to screw up, because we don't stop screwing up, but that he's going to screw up in his own way, and you know, he's going to find his own way out of it. And this is so hard for parents.
Absolutely.
So hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just told my mother a couple of weeks ago, like, you know, Mom, I'm 54 years old and I've done a pretty good job. All I need to hear from you is, darling, I love you and I know what you're going through is hard, but you're going to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That validation is so key, and I think that's one of the key pieces, the skills learned here that I hope kids learn, but also they look for, and I think parents reading this too, is that validation is such a wonderful piece and such a great relationship builder.
Yeah, exactly. So how are people getting your book?
So my book is available on Amazon, both in ebook as well as in print. And my website is www.thecrimsonprotector.com. So just the title of the book
Title of the
with
book.
no spaces in between. And you can learn more about the book. There's actually a reading guide put together by myself and a teacher to help questions that after reading the book, a teacher or a parent can use to discuss it, discuss the skills that are learned, discuss the literary components of it. So really, really excited about that. And for this first month until the end of September, all proceeds, all profits from the book go to provide food for immigrant youth in the Middle East. So really excited about that partnership in this as well.
Fabulous. I love it. Dr. Jeffrey Kranzler, thank you for telling us about the Crimson Protector. Congratulations on your new book. I imagine a lot of kids are going to look for it and get a lot out of it and really enjoy it.
Thank you so much.